Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we're going to be going through my top 5 supports in the game. Now, a couple disclaimers before we get into it. Support is an awkward term because I view support as healing, buffing, debuffing, all of the above, things that like basically enable the rest of your team to survive and do their thing. So that's what I'm going to be classifying it as. We've already done the DPS and tank list, so I'll leave them linked in the description. And on top of that, we're not going to include Celestials, Hypergens, or Dimensionals into this list because obviously something like Talene, even at an elite copy, is a great support for the healing. You got the Twins, you got Aziz. There's a lot of good stuff in the Celestials and Hypergens. This is focusing more on just the core 4 factions, and then we will just do like a whole list talking about Hypergens, Celestials, and Dimensionals in another video. I think that's just about all the disclaimers. Let's get into it. Okay, so starting at number 5 on the list, and he's number 5 because he's one of those ones, I think some people may not classify him as a support, but when you look at what he does, he's really supporting by debuffing the enemy team and allowing your units to do their thing, and that is going to be Pharrell. Now, once again, I'm cool. He does do some nice damage, but so can something like Tassie, who we'll talk about a bit later. But the reason is, when we look at him, he's got a 3-target fear. Really nice. He's got pretty much every ability summons spirits. Now, these spirits are going to interrupt their enemies, drain energy from the enemies. Look at the signature item. They're going to reduce the attack and health recovery of the enemies. And then when we look at his exclusive furniture, he's also going to be reducing their haste and spamming fears with his basic attack basically once it starts stacking. So he has heal reduction, attack reduction, energy reduction, interrupts, fears, and what was the last one there? What was I just talking about? Haste reduction and stuns. He's got a lot of support for your team. More so support that's debuffing the enemy team, that's going to help your team, allow them to do their things, but especially with the recent buff to his furniture, where after a couple basic attacks, he's going to be using this accursed arrow, basically guaranteeing him to land those spirits, which is then going to be guaranteeing a stun. He basically is a single target, lock out the whole match on one enemy. Then he has his fear, which is 3 random enemies, which is going to put the spirits on them, reduce their haste, their attack, their health recovery, and also interrupt their attacks. And then he's got his ultimate, which once again, he can do some really nice damage with it when he does pop off, and there's a few there is a few spirits haunting the enemies. But once again, incredible support for your team to allow them to do their thing. So that is Pharrell. Moving on to number 4 on the list, and it's going to be my man Sylas. Now I really have a thing for this guy at the moment. He is really, really good in the early game, but does translate well into the late game. So what does he do that makes him such a good support? One, he's got heals. The big one is this gas cloud that floats around and does some healing. He's got this ability here, which is also going to heal the weakest ally based on their max HP, and then continue to recover their HP over time. Really nice. We do have this one here, which spreads out gas, which is able to heal the allies, but also deal damage to enemies. And then we've obviously got this one here, which is an injection, giving you invincibility, but also increasing the attack. Now, on top of that, we also have health recovery decrease for enemies, a 20% attack increase for all allies when they're above 50% at level 30 signature item. And in the exclusive furniture, we have additional attack frequency for allies when he injects them. So really, really nice heals. Those gas clouds that float around can actually do a lot of healing. And not to mention this one as well. Sprays a powerful gas onto the battlefield 12 seconds. Any ally standing within the cloud will recover health equal to 30% of Sylas's attack rating value per second, which once again, if you can increase his attack value, it's going to be nice. But then we have this one, which recovers 20% of the health they've already lost per second. Now that is really strong. Once again, due to the fact that both of these are based off of Sylas's attack, well, this one is just straight 20%, but it can only go up to a limit of Sylas's attack. It's handy to have him ascended, but he can still work fairly well at not ascended, lower ascensions than the rest of your team, can still get some value out of it, but really, really strong healing, along with the fact that once he does get to that ult, get invincibility, attack buff, attack attack speed increase, and then once again we just have that flat increase for allies above 50% health. Really strong support all through the game. Moving on to number 3 on the list, and that is going to be Leica. Now Leica, if you do get her to 9 furniture, can be an incredibly strong damage dealer as well. Every normal attack targets the nearest 2 enemies. It actually lets her do some really nice cleave damage, but up until then the whole game, doesn't matter if you only have an elite Leica, there will be stages where you throw Leica in purely for this haste increase at the start of battle and the energy buff, and it can completely change the tide of battle. Now she does also have the benefit of also having the defense decrease for the enemies, which is really strong as well. The AoE knockback, which can come into play at certain points, but the main reason she is in here is for this haste at the start of the battle. On top of that, we do have the signature item, which the good thing about her signature item is level 20 is where the magic really lies. Raises damage by 0.2% for every point of accuracy an ally has, which exceeds the dodge rating of their target. So really nice in that one, that you can get some really good effectiveness out of just her level 20 signature item, and you don't have to take her to 30. Makes her really easy to support, to build, to really get good functionality out of her and help your team out. But that is Leica. Give me the haste every day of the week. I think by now everyone can guess who number 2 and number 1 are going to be. Number 2, we're going to go with Tassie. Now Tassie is huge. She's amazing in early game, late game, PvE, PvP, pretty much everywhere in the game. She's fantastic. And this teleport is really strong. I think the teleport gets overlooked a little bit. It's so strong. And the fact that her furniture ties into it, allowing her to teleport more, is really nice. And being immune to that damage, dodging, stealing attack rating, it's just a lot going on with that teleport. On top of that, we have the banish, the 4-second banish for an enemy, which upgrades to 6 seconds, which is huge. And then we have obviously the sleep for the entire team. Now the cool thing about this sleep is if she has an enemy banished, they will come out of the banish to be slept so that they can take damage as well. Really strong. Now her signature item, the scope of the reduced attack rating, basically she reduces the attack rating of enemies she teleports to. Not the best, but once again, it's one of those ones, you know, upgraded to 10, 20, you're going to get okay use out of it because she is a strong hero, kind of like Rowan, who yes we're about to talk about, where his furniture isn't the greatest, but because they're a great hero, they get more mileage out of these upgrades because they're being used anyway, so why not give them little increases because they're being used. Although she isn't one that I would set as a high priority for signature item to level 30, because there's much more important units who really change the way they play at those levels. But all round, Tassie just an absolute supportive beast. And number 1, as we all guessed, is gonna be Rowan. I feel like Rowan is like that one unit that shines above every other unit in the game besides Celestial Hypergenes. I feel like he falls into Celestial Hypergene range more than any of the other characters from the normal 4 factions. He's just so strong, and you can splash him into any team and you will get good functionality out of him. You put him in back mid, it means his potions are going to hit everyone. Really smart healing, only going to be used when they need the heal. The cool thing about this is that I think often gets forgotten about is his duck. Attacks the nearest enemy multiple times for some damage, causing the enemy's accuracy to drop by 120 points. And he also steals energy off of that. So it's energy. This ability is the one on Rowan that I feel like really gets forgotten, but it's actually not bad. So not only are we reducing accuracy, we're stealing the energy, giving him an energy buff and them an energy debuff or increase, decrease. It's actually not a bad ability. But on top of that, obviously we've got the coins. We're going to get some stuns. We're going to get some energy. We're going to get some attack from it. The cool thing about Rowan as well is you don't have to put him in back mid. You can put him in the front row. He's still going to be able to heal 3 of your allies. On top of that, he's going to be able to stun the back row enemies when he does use this ult. Really effective. He has this damage mitigation where he's going to be able to, you know, survive pretty well in the front row if he is at Ascended once you get into the later stages of the game. And he can really go there nicely because even if he does die, the potions will stay on the table. It's nice if he hangs around because he can restock the table. But hey, even in the front row, just to get a little bit of mitigation at the start, he can be absolutely fantastic. Now, his signature item is one of the highest priority signature items in the game. I spoke about his furniture when we were talking about Tassie, how it's not the greatest furniture, but it's nice because he's just so strong to have an extra increase. This signature item is, for me, I'd normally upgrade my main damage dealer to 30 signature item if they need it, like Saurus, Iron, Stitchy, something like that. And then I'd jump straight to Rowan, because even though it's only a numbers increase on the amount of energy recovered by this potion, it's huge that when an ally gets just above half energy, they can basically instantly ult. It is so strong and a really nice signature item to have. And then, like I said, the furniture, it's not the greatest, but because he's so good, why not take the extra little bit of healing if you're using him all the time? However, when you get to the stage where you're building multiple teams for boss battles, I sort of shave him off of my furniture wish list, because you want to build multiple teams, and he's already good enough as is without the furniture, so I'd rather be targeting other things. However, if you're looking purely at like a single PvP team or a single campaign team, then it's not bad to upgrade just because he is so strong in himself. Anyway, that covers it for supports in the game. Like I said, I'll leave a link to the tanks and damage in the description. If you have any other videos you guys would like me to make on this type of format, I have fun doing these ones, so let me know. But anyway, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.